Shalom. I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Kol Halo Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. I'm just going to read an article and just bring up two precepts, something real simple. All right, so U.S. will say they saved the world, while peaceful Russian approach on North Korea won. Okay, and that only makes sense because we all know on the news media they're talking about how North Korea was constantly in talks with China and Russia. Pyongyang's move to halt nuclear and missile tests is more the result of collective efforts, including that of Russia and China, than U.S. threats to wipe off the map, North Korea, a top Russian senator says. On Friday, the North Korean leadership announced it is freezing the nuclear and ballistic missile programs and scrapping a major test site. The development could be the news of the year. Head of Russia's Foreign Affairs Committee of the Federation Council, Konstantin Koshachev, I don't know if I pronounced that right, believes. Yet it is not the end of the long-running crisis in the region, which was once at the threshold of a nuclear conflict. Much more lies ahead, from North Korea returning to the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons Cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, to Washington abandoning its aggressive rhetoric. However, progress in the Korean Peninsula crisis was made possible thanks to the efforts of 5 countries, members of the 6-party talks that are apart from the U.S., include North, South Korea, Japan, China, and Russia. Keeping the channels of dialogue with Pyongyang by Beijing and Moscow is not a less important instrument than public threats to wipe off the map from Washington, the senator said. And that only makes sense because, again, Russia, on the news media, it was constantly said that Kim Jong-un was in constant talks with Russia and China. All right. In fact, the U.S. has already taken credit for Pyongyang's decision. Welcome news, maximum pressure is working. The American people and our allies know we would not be at this point without the strong leadership of POTUS, Donald Trump, U.S. Vice President, and Mike Pence. Russia has repeatedly warned the U.S. against military action against North Korea, advocating instead a diplomatic approach. Moscow has not stopped dialogue even for a minute, which was a responsible and accurate decision that finally worked out, according to Koshachev. The line of political settlement and peaceful resolution of disputes, which Russia has consistently been advocating for in all situations, has won out, he said. Trump has on numerous occasions traded insults with the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and has said that the country's long-range missile program should be met with unprecedented fire and fury. The U.S. leader has also stated that talking to North Korea is not an answer. What's more, when former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was trying to hammer out an agreement over the Korean crisis, Trump said Tillerson was simply losing time at one point. Trump did state that talks may be necessary, but said they are unlikely to yield any results. Russian Foreign Ministry, meanwhile, called on the U.S. and its major ally in the region, South Korea, to make adequate reciprocal steps and reduce their military activity in the region. Pyongyang has repeatedly lashed out at American war games on the doorstep, which it deems a threat to national security. While supporting a number of UN Security Council sanctions on North Korea, Moscow also cautioned that the U.S.-led drills are provoking Kim Jong-un into striving for new weapons. However, the recent change in Kim's rhetoric is proof again that diplomatic efforts are able to aid a peaceful resolution of the crisis, Russia's Upper House Committee for International Relations. Senator Alexei Chepa said. He particularly cited Joint Russian-Chinese Initiative. All right, and that makes perfect sense, again, considering Trump's rhetoric and what the media also said. Constantly, every time I watch news, they always mention that North Korea is in constant talks with China and Russia. And Kim Jong-un himself said he wouldn't talk to anybody, only through Russians and Chinese. All right, last year, Moscow and Beijing put forward a double freeze plan calling for a simultaneous halt to North Korea's tests and the U.S. war games in the region. However, Washington ignored these calls and continued its maximum pressure and bellicose line. North Korea gets guarantees for its security and the threats to it from the West stop, then naturally denuclearization of the region will happen, Shepa told Interfax. That is what Russia and China have been always talking about. Today, the program suggested by them is practically being implemented. Well, that's just the point. I believe it. It sounds true because according to the media, I know the media is false. They just, I don't know, they feed you shit all the time, you know? And constantly in the news, they're saying that North Korea is in talks with Russia and China. So I'm just going to pull up Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? All right, it's America. All right. So again, America will be destroyed via nuclear weapons, and we're in the midst of World War III with Russia right now. So with that, I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Double honors, apostle, elders, a great millstone, and bless the Hakim that are pushing more in true sincerity. To all you men of great millstone, I say Barakatham, Bahashem Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Wahab, Racha, Kodash. Shalom.